Okie dokie, I think we might as well make a start. It's fantastic to see you all, and thank you very much for coming along. This is the first one of these that I've ever actually organised. I've done plenty, but I've never had to organise one myself. I've given out the raffle tickets, put the chairs out, served the coffee, laid the tables and sang at some events that I've done. But you have no idea just like how fantastic it is to see you all and how thrilled I am that you're all here. Fantastic and nearly on time. We're doing this, ooh, straight away. We're here for lots and lots of different reasons. Carol first moved into this house. This is Carol over here. And after she'd done some alterations, she said to me, I'd love to have a house concert here. So here we all are. Fantastic.
For me, Tony, it's a measure of success of getting this house sorted out.
Yeah. Another reason I'm doing this is because I want to do like some live recordings. I've sent live recordings to 4 clubs and they always wind up saying you probably edited it or you did it in the studio and it doesn't sound real or you've doubled up the audiences. So I'd like you, after 3, to all say, we are real. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
We are real.
Now can you say it in a robotic voice? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We are real.
You should see your faces, I tell you. It was also an opportunity to find out how many emergency chairs we've got. Okay, and the answer is 17. I know. Who would have thought? We've only got 2 bottoms each. Anyway, so it's also a great opportunity for me to air some of the most recent songs that I've written, mostly in collaboration with Tom Kelly here. We really work hard together because what he does is he sends me the words and I say, do you mind if I change the words? And he says, give it 6 note. Okay? So it's a bit like Bernie Taupin and Elton John. I can just imagine Elton John going like, give it 6 note. It's also meant to be, I can't imagine, I can't remember, an enjoyable experience for you. I know. What, Tony Wilson singing and he's got a concertina in his hand at the same time. And just so we can get the sound levels right, are you ready? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you all to clap. You ready here, everybody? Clap. Right, okay, I've got a feeling it's going to be a long afternoon. So can we just have this half clap, please? And this half clap. You're my favourites. Okay, straight away. So before we get started, I don't want this concert to be like a kind of you sit, I talk, I sing, you clap kind of thing. What I've done is, and I found this out last night, was when I had all the words of what I was going to say as the introductions, I found myself when I was singing the songs, trying to sing the introductions at the same time. So some of you have been given cards which will have 5 words or 5 phrases on, and I'll ask you to read those out, and then I'll tell the story. That way I'm not going to be looking at the words and trying to sing them at the same time. But before we all start, I'd really like, as a warm-up, can you please put your hands together for my sister Anne, who's going to give you a couple of songs on the ukulele. She's not really. Just everywhere I turn up, where we go to a lot of 4 clubs together, everybody assumes that she's going to sing, and it's always worth it when somebody says, it's your turn, Anne, and she goes, what? Like that. Well, we are very lucky to have like so many like songwriters and tune writers who live in the Northeast, and I'm going to start off with a tune that was written by Eileen Richardson, and she got the words for this from The People's Friend, a version that was written in 1893. Is that correct?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, good. And what happened was it was obviously written by a servant girl, and it borders on sedition. Yeah. And how many of you know what the word sedition means? You're all looking away from us now. It means to try and overthrow the government.
Oh, and this is a nice comfortable sedition we've got here.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. And the thing is this, when she wrote to them, just to keep her quiet for hush money, they wound up sending her a teapot and some biscuits. Oh, a tea caddy? A tea caddy. Oh! Now, not everybody has to sing, but if you'd like to sing, please do. The chorus is, only a servant girl, okay? Oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. a lot of you looked straight down to the floor there, okay? So. Although I'm only a servant girl, I'm not ashamed to say I belong to ranks of those who toil for a living day by day. With willing feet I pass along the paths I must tread. Oh, proud I have the strength and skill to earn me daily bread. They stare at us in proud disdain, their lips and scorn will curl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Only a servant girl, thank God, with willing hands and heart, I'm able to earn me daily bread. And in life's battle take part. You could offer me no golden crown, be more proud to own I stand as high in the eyes of God as the queen upon a throne. They stare at us in proud disdain, lips and scorn will curl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Those of you who pride yourself upon your wealth and birth, and look with scorn on those who have naught but honest worth, your gentle birth we laugh to scorn, this we find's the creed. Oh, none are gentle save the one who serves a gentle deed. They stare at us in proud disdain, their lips and scorn will curl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. And when you meet with scornful sneers, lift your head with pride. The shield of honest womanhood can turn such sneers aside. Someday they'll understand, brightest, richest pearl, midst the gem of noble womanhood, is only a servant girl. They stare at us in proud disdain, their lips and scorn will curl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Oh, and oftentimes you'll hear them say, she's only a servant girl. Well done. Well done. I was a bit worried that he weren't going to sing. There's plenty of seats at the front here. Or you can go round the outside. I'll do a $1 billion man. As I was halfway through that song, I forgot that I'd forgotten to mention that Graham Bell's here. Yeah. So, if you haven't seen him before, you're in for a treat. If you've seen him before, you know just how good he is. Absolutely fantastic. Great songwriter. Just wait till he gets the electric guitar out. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like I say, it's been great for me because I think Tom and I started writing songs really about this time last year, wasn't it? When the Seven Lads of Jarrah was like the first one. We did have an abortive attempt around about 1982-ish, I seem to remember, and I didn't quite have the chops to sort of like write tunes for other people's words. This was evinced when in the 70s a friend of mine wrote a song and it was called Words Just Feel Me, and that was exactly as long as the tune lasted. I wrote a tune for words just fail me, and then it stopped because I thought, well, if they fail you, you can't write anything. So this is one of the songs that I wrote the tune for this song. It's called Eileen. Who's got the card with Eileen on? Don't all?
No.
Eileen, I can't imagine why Eileen. This is now turning into like an Eileen fest. I can't imagine why that didn't occur to me.
Not just Joe McElderry, bright, clever, Eric Blair, 6 months, stroke 6 months, eggs, no friends.
Now I've got your interest. The thing is, like, it's not just Joe McElderry who's the most famous person in South Shields now. There's a lady who's called Eileen O'Shaughnessy, who actually got married to Eric Blair. Eric Blair, that I think we all know as George Orwell, a very bright and feisty woman. And when they got married, she said the first year of married life, the first 6 months were having fights, and the second 6 months were making up after those fights. Now, they were true intellectuals because they couldn't cook. Okay. And the only thing that they could cook were eggs. And that is the reason why they didn't have an awful lot of friends. All right. Now, like a lot of songs, Irish songs, especially love songs, the chorus consists of saying the person's name. It was Paddy Clough who pointed this out to me, because he sang like quite a lot of love songs, and it's really just the name of the person. So her name is Eileen O'Shaughnessy. Okay, and that'll come in. You've all gone very quiet. This is for you, Eileen. Your photograph makes me believe I really bring you back. I wish we had spoken. Your eyes ask, my arms open. Are you walking by? And I'll tell the story, make it come alive. What happened before 1945? You're more than a dream, living life to the full. To me, that's how it seems. Nothing was ever done. You mean so much to me, Eileen O'Shaughnessy. You mean so much to me, Eileen O'Shaughnessy. From South Shields to Oxford town, 2 to 1 was never enough when Eric came on board. Married, living on air, life was a little rough. And the tide of walking, you made a sterner start. And I'll tell your story, make it come alive. What happened before dance for our leaders. Eric, hands onto your arm. Struggling with a fever that went severe Hispaniola. George knew that he needed you long before 1984. I'll tell your story, make it come alive. The life you lived before 1945. Dying all too soon, with the son you left, Eric. Paris, he left you alone. You're more than a dream, living life to the full. To me that's how it seems. Nothing was ever done. You mean so much to me, Eileen O'Shaughnessy. You mean so much to me, Eileen O'Shaughnessy. You mean so much to me, Eileen O'Shaughnessy. Okay, the next one's called Me Feather Was a Minor. Somebody must have that one. Come on, Harry, give it to her.
Me feather, little corner shop, sat there, went to Leeds, strange accent, couldn't understand change.
Exactly. Right, so when I was little, we had in Tynedock, we had a corner shop, and we'd go to this corner shop, and there'd be like old fellas sitting there, and they'd all be saying like Saturday, Friday, Monday, and I'm going like, what's a Monday? Like this. I had not a clue what they were talking about. These accents were almost impenetrable. It's funny as I go around the country, because people wind up saying, you've got a really strong Geordie accent. I'm saying like, oh no, I have not. I can go to the bar and go, 4 pints of bitter and a snow bell, like that. But so there were some lads that I went to university with that had been in the same class as me, and were all, as far as I knew, talked the same. But when they got to Leeds and university, they were like, why man, Tony son of ways you ganning on like? I'm going, what are you talking about? What has happened to you? So I took that and expanded a little bit. It's got a chorus, which is, I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding. Okay? So you'll get it anyway. It goes like this. Oh, me feather was a minor, he would be doing a pit. He would gone to work on his Galloway, he was always full of stories. Of a Saturday he'd have a plough, he was very fond of drinking. I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding, try it. I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding. Now me dad with his pig looked like old Nick with black dog in his bitten. A allotment leak sticking out of his beaks as he galloped away from Warham. He was always too posh to walk for the 24 nights on the day shift. I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding. I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding. This is for you, Jude. Now me and me Morris got the jarrow with my pirates with Anton, Deck and Shearer. I'm as Geordie as Sting and Jimmy Nail, can I make it any more clearer? We've got a workhouse and a pawn shop, 10 pubs in Wall Street Bar. From where I'm from, I'm telling ye, you'd be a sissy if you didn't catch cholera. From where I'm from, I'm telling ye, you'd be a sissy if you didn't catch cholera. Oh, you all went quiet there. Now me nana eats nails for breakfast before she wins a Great North Run. Where's Candyman's party, clears for work, but the time brings just for fun. Catches rivets down at Swan Hunters, got Titanic tatted on her back. Don't talk no posh jaw breakers, won't stand for any such clack. Don't talk no posh jaw breakers, won't stand for any such clack. Now me mother was a minor, at least she did more work than me da. With 24 kids, a women and a pig, she was never propping up the bar. She had never been north of Benwell, got a passport out for the day. Took the sights in a brand new Gansey, tappy-lappy through the Drew Ridge Bay. Got the sights for the brand new Gansey, tappy-lappy through the Drew Ridge Bay. This is getting too hard for you. Now me granda was a minor, a gawky, clouty gadget, fixing the domino card on the club in deals that work my dodgy. He had never left his spot at the bar all the days that he did live. Never liked the posh flicker of a Sunday, with the bloody hells he talking to. Never liked the posh flicker of a Sunday, with the bloody hells he talking to. Last chance, here we go. Oh, me feather was a minor, he worked me through the pit. He began to work on his gallowa, he was always full of stories. Of a Saturday he'd have a plough, he was very fond of drinking. I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding. Last chance. I'd have been a true Geordie just like him, but I'm allergic to peas pudding. Okay, this is going to be a tune, so you don't have to do any singing. Thank the Lord for that, you see. It's going to be a set of tunes. The first tune. Did I give anybody one for the Wilson's Christmas cake? Oh, come on then, Bill.
Yep. Sound sleeper, cat flap, insurance, angry, and sharing a cake.
Just imagine it's Wordle, okay? Then you'd start being more interested. I used to be a very sound sleeper. I mean, like really sound. Like 14 hours a night was nothing for me. And one time, this is when we lived up on Beach Road, some burglars came. I've gone geek Geordie though, but some burglars came. And what they did was they sawed a hole in the back door and got into the house. Well, the insurance company didn't believe us. They said, like, nobody's going to sleep through somebody sawn like a man-sized hole in the back of that. Keep the door and we'll come and inspect it. So I put the door out the back, in the backyard. Of course, like the grass grew up through this hole. And I looked out the window and I was so angry, I wrote a tune. Come on, you weren't expecting that now, were you? Yeah. So that's the first one, which is called The Broken Back Door. And the second one's called Wilson's Christmas Cake. And it's a very involved story. It's like when I was a very new teacher and I made a Christmas cake with the children and everybody in the school was incensed. I had said to all the other teachers, do you want to make a Christmas cake? And all said, no. So there was just me, made a Christmas cake with the kids. The kids were cock-a-hoop with us, but the rest of the staff never spoke to me for about 3 months afterwards. So I wrote this tune because I was angry with them. Okay, here we go. Well, this is going to be the last one of this set, and then we're going to have Graham on in a little while. We'll have like a little breakette. Okay, this will be like a short time. I know you've all really come for the chili, you know. But I think somebody's got to drink your own mud downstream. Did I not hand that one out?
I think drink your, that's as far
Oh, all right. You're
Not a
pedantic.
fan, or-
Yeah,
what?
sorry.
Not a fan, food manufacturer, drawing water, environmental scientist, immediately changed, billionaires 20 pounds.
Okay, right, I'll now sing the song. Thanks very much, Danny. I don't want anybody to be under any kind of like disillusion. I'm not a fan of the current government. Okay. And this song sort of came to mind where there's billionaires sort of deciding the fate of people who are the poorest in the country. And I just thought, when I'd read this article about a food manufacturer who were drawing water out of a river, and what they were basically doing was they were polluting the water. They were polluting the water, and this environmental scientist said, like, you can't keep doing that. And they said, oh, yes, we can. And then the senator got in touch with them and said, let's make them draw the water from downstream so that they've got to sort of like take the water from where their outpourings have been. And strangely, overnight, it changed. Now, this isn't a song, as a lot of people think. It's not a song about rivers, okay? It's about the fact that these billionaires are taking £20 off the poorest people in the country, and they probably wouldn't even faint at the idea of losing £100 on the street. And I just thought, maybe if they had to drink their own mud downstream, it would be the same. The chorus is, now, I usually wind up saying to people, sing choruses loudly, but nice and quietly, because it's that kind of like, it's got more portent to it. So, why can't you hear what I'm saying? Why won't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Don't give that a try. Why can't you hear what I'm saying? That's great. Why won't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? That's absolutely fantastic. You know, I was in a club, I think it was in Worcestershire, and I stood there, this is about 30 years ago, I stood there and I said, do you all feel like singing choruses? And there's a man, boy, dog and a woman that all went, nah, like that. It's great, fantastic, thank you very much. Well, I won't drink your dirty water, no sir, drink it 'cause it's safe. Your things you do and they ain't right, there'll be a price to pay. You won't lay that at my door, the debt was always yours. This water was as sweet as wine, take it back and make it mine. If you don't know what I mean, drink your own mud downstream. Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Why won't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Gonna drown in the dirty water, mama, all I wanna say. Swamped in your double dealings, today's a reckoning day. You wanna lay that at my back, we've got you a brand new train. track. You wore the stone away too long, writing you a brand new song. If you don't know what I mean, drink your own mud downstream. Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Why won't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Now all you lords and ladies who chose to close your eyes, purses filled with my gold that I laid aside. It's a goddamn crying shame that you do this in my name. You turn this water into slime, got enough but you want mine. If you don't know what I mean, drink your own mud downstream. Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Why can't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Taking all your second chances, nothing left to take. If lies were water, sister, drown in your own lake, and you left us on a limb. Now it's your turn to swim. You turn each torrent to a stream, go and float on broken dreams. If you don't know what I mean, drink your own mud downstream. Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Why won't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Don't drink the dirty water, children, listen to what I say. Everything they touch is poison, give them hell to pay, and they'll give you the blame to hide their own shame. This water will be sweet and fine, don't believe their cheating lies. If you don't know what I mean, drink your own mud downstream. Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Why won't you listen to what I'm saying? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? Thank you so much. I'm going to start off with the second half with another song, which was written this time by Tom Kelly and Dave Price. So we've got Isabella.
Oh, yes.
You're so happy.
So, wife William Jobling, 1832. Lord Londonderry Spit.
Right, everybody's got to spit whenever you say Lord Londonderry's name. So really, after three, 1, 2, 3. That's it, yeah.
Strike. Nicholas Fairless and Workhouse, 1890s.
Yeah. So this song was written, I think there was an exhibition in 1972, and it seemed to have had like such a huge influence on everybody about William Jobling. And this song's called Isabella, and Isabella was his wife. And there was like a lockout more than a strike. There was a lockout, and William Jobling was saw a judge. I think it's a fantastic name for a judge, called Nicholas Fairless. We were in a play together,
We were,
Dave, and you were Nicholas Fairless. It's no reflection on you, but I'm going to say typecast. But the thing was, like, what a name for a judge, Fairless. What a fantastic name. And what happened was, it was they attacked the judge, and they brought him in, and Nicholas Fairless said, yes, he was there, but he isn't the one that actually sort of like threw the stone or killed me. Somebody called Anderson. But he was hung anyway to teach him a lesson. Okay, so what happened was, in those days, there was no like state benefit or anything like that. So in the, I think it was about the 1890s, So Isabella was found in a workhouse, and it's an imaginary conversation where somebody's saying like, "Who are you?" Now taking the air, layer of dust in her hair, sits a face of despair, Isabella, and bearing the strain just to carry the name, is a true life's a game, Isabella. Oh, not to say wasted you've done what you could. Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it fair? It's the end of the day, sun is fading away, so it's life in a way, Isabella. Your children have grown, there's no need to come home. Hell, it's tough on your own, Isabella. And years from today, though it seems yesterday, your old man passed away, Isabella. He's left you a widow so old and so grey, though everyone knew he would go. But that's not much to you, as the water seeps through. You've still work to do, Isabella. Now try to recall, is your memory so small? Hell, you can't think at all, Isabella. And the words of this song, could it be they were wrong? Why is living so long, Isabella? Let Providence guide you the rest of your days. Be strong, for the Lord is within. Then it's blow out the light, that's enough for tonight. Sweet dreams and sleep tight, Isabella. Now taking the air, play with dust in her hair, sits the face of despair, Isabella. And bearing the strain just to carry the name, is a true life's a game, Isabella. Let Providence guide you the rest of your days. Be strong, for the Lord is within. Then it's blow out the light, that's enough for tonight. Sweet dreams and sleep tight, Isabella. Next one is all the nice people.
Alan Gore, Travelling, witty, incisive. Bertrand Russell, Pamphlet. Folk 5/4, brought it up to date.
Brought it up to date. Well, one of the best things about travelling around is that you get to hear different songs from different people. And I was in a place called Loughton in Essex, and there was a fella got up, Alan Gore's his name, great songwriter, great like guitarist, musician, fabulous, and he got up and sang this song, and I thought, that's one of the best things I've heard in ages. And it is called All the Nice People, and it comes from a pamphlet that was written by Bertrand Russell in the 1930s, and it's got like one part of it is called All the Nice People. And what I did was I brought it a little bit further up to date. The trouble is it was written in 1930, and it's still horribly sort of pertinent today. It's written in 5/4 time, which a lot of people sort of tend to ignore on the folk scene. They tend to flatten everything out and put it into 5/4. Take Three Girls by Pentangle. Like that's so like, in Newry town where I was bred and born, St. Stephen's Green where I died in scorn. It's like that kind of like jerky rhythm. It's got a chorus, but I'd be very surprised if you managed to sing it. Okay, I'm not. It's not like a challenge. You'll understand afterwards anyway. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Anything enjoyable cannot be good for you. Nice people know that it's against the law. Guardians of decency, Victorian hypocrisy. They know the things that they stand for. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Nice people know what's good and what's bad for us. Everything is censored that might cause offence. Don't let us be corrupted. Keep us in ignorance. They are the only ones with common sense. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Nice women love their husbands because it is their duty, and their nice children are seen but not heard. Nice men love their country, willing to die for it. Anyone who disagrees is quite absurd. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Nice people believe in capital punishment. Hang them just to make sure they don't do it again. Send back all the immigrants, jail all the communists. Get rid of everyone except nice women and men. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Don't think that you've got a choice, do as we tell you. We're the nice people, so don't make a fuss. Be glad for what you have and got the crumbs from our table. Rasputin was the only one who was nicer than us. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Nice people force us to do what they would never do. We scrimp and we save, we starve and we freeze. Clapping for the front lines never really meant a thing. They break their own laws and they do as they please. All the nice people live in such a good life. They've got their standards above all the rest. All the nice people keeping us in order. They know they're only doing what's best. Yeah, so that was quite incisive. I do like it. So I don't think I've written a card for this one. It's called Howl for the Moon. Now, I thought everybody would have immediately gone to watch the Rolling Thunder review sort of video, and has anybody seen it? Yeah, that's us too then. But yeah. So when Dylan did the Rolling Thunder review, which was meant to be this kind of free and easy, like three-ring circus kind of show, and Allen Ginsberg, who was a Buddhist and a poet and a very gentle man, who wrote a poem which is called Howl. That's probably his most famous poem. And what happened was he joined on under this circus, as it were, this Rolling Thunder, which is an Indian phrase for telling the truth. And it's saddening to see such a brilliant intellect and a great poet and such a gentle man. He was pleading to sort of like be on the bill, and his 20 minutes got reduced to 10, and he's saying, well, let me just do 5. And then the snotty-nosed streak of piss, basically, I can't think of another way of saying it, so they just wiped his name off the running order for that night. And then he and Peter Orlovsky, his partner, were reduced to being bellhops on the tour. So they carried people's bags and brought them coffee and things like this. So it's called Howl for the Moon. You still howl for the moon. Or the other thing is, if it hadn't been for Allen Ginsberg, we wouldn't have the stream of consciousness kind of writing and things like that. So I was absolutely incensed. You were more than a father to each ungrateful child. Stole from your table, there's no laughter in your smile. You gave your counsel freely, opened doors with what you said. Took your words, stole your vision, now your dreams are draped in lead. Stole your thunder, took your glory, you still howl to the moon. You still howl to the moon. Salted tears of winter scar your sunken eyes. Crime in your heart and your blood still seeks the prize. Your yearning for adventure was treated with offence. Cried for the dollars that never saw the sense. Stole your thunder, took your glory, you still howl to the moon. You still howl to the moon. You catch yourself thinking all the things that might have been. 100,000 lifetimes, they'll never be just what you've seen. In the dark and well of loneliness, where four stops the life, yours no empty, ordinary mind. Stole your thunder, took your glory, you still howl to the moon. You still howl to the moon. A jealous swipe of chalk struck you from your own roll call. Let the water settle, see beyond the waterfall. You'd serve at the table when they took what should be yours. Scorn for your patience, serve the spirit and the cause. Stole your thunder, took your glory, you still howl to the moon. You still howl to the moon. As a con man and a trickster stole the peach right from the tree. Those who want the money, always blind to see. As a master and a servant, you always played your part. From the bloody ruins of your heart, they always fashioned art. Stole your thunder, took your glory, you still howl to the moon. You still howl to the moon. You still howl to the moon.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to that time, has anybody got a man of war?
I have.
Jed, I'm all ready.
Oh, yeah. I'm pleased about that. 1866, Destitute Child Act. 1868, Man of War. Fatherless boys, stroke Navy. 200 boys, 12-year-old. Burnt down in 1914. And Tom Kelly's granddad.
Yes, so Tom Kelly's granddad was placed, not in the, was he on the actual ship of the Wellesley?
Oh, the Wellesley, yeah.
Yeah, on the ship.
On the ship, yeah.
All right, okay. So what happened was there was an act passed in 1866. It was called the Destitute Child Act. And it said that there should be something done for all of these children, these waifs and strays. So in 1868, they got an old man of war, like an ancient man of war, and placed it on the north shore of the Tyne. And if you were a fatherless child, or if you cheated somebody off at school, or just found on the street, you were actually placed on board. You were bonded to be on board, and they would take children, boys from 12 years old, and they would stay there until they were 18. Now the thing was, it coincided. This all sounds great. They'll have like all these children, like, making some provision for the children. Basically, the Navy was in dire straits as far as recruitment was concerned. So they basically, like child sweepers, were sweeping these children up and putting them on board a ship. Now it did burn down in 1914. So then they had like a land-based one where they made much bigger. I think there was up to about 400, was it? Yes, 400. So it was 400, like children that they didn't know what to do with. They placed them in this kind of place, terrible place. And as I've gone around the country and sung this song, this, like a good idea, will never go away. So when I've been in Essex, when I've been down in Portsmouth, they've had them all around the country. And anyway, I've called this Aboard a Man of War. Not man of war, a man of war. And that's really what all you have to sing. With our accent, who can tell the difference? Okay, so there's another Tom Kelly words, and I wrote the tune. Well, I never knew me father, just a shadow on the wall. Ma said he was a pitman, a sure that's not so tall. Hang on to a precious word and string around me neck. And I wish in me heart and soul that me and me dad could have met. And now I'm banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Tried, branded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. You're marvellous. Nobody's noticed. All gone quiet. He's the reason I'm on the Wellesley, tied up at North Shield Shore. 200 lads the same as me, club is old, not much more. At 6 in the morning, barefoot we're scrubbing the deck. Don't tell me it's a hard life, nothing left to expect. And now I'm banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. They say the straining ship keeps us on the straight and narrow way. There's lads here from Manchester to me hometown Jarrahy. They keep us working all day long, making sure we don't get lost. Keep telling us we're never got no dads, we had to pay the cost. And now I'm banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. This life of mine, it is no life for a poor destitute child. A dreamy dad will come from me upon the morning time. We'll learn about the seas and ships and up the rig and climb. Swimming the decks before dawn's light, don't know if I'll survive. And now I'm banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. One thing I know to keep me thoughts deep inside me head, until I'm safe asleep in sling and hammock bed. Sometimes the brave lads swim ashore when the lasses call to them. They'll do it once and suffer long, never try it again. And now I'm banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Me mother visits once a month, she brings a little chair. I live for a visit one day when my life is sweet. I know that crying's a waste of time, not that I ever would. Like living on wishes and pissing in the wind, that never does any good. And now I'm banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Banded, bonded, scorned and landed on board a man of war. Thank you so much. This is going to be the last one. You've all been fantastic. You've passed the audition. You've been a marvellous audience. We're going to finish with this song, another Tom Kelly, but Tom Kelly and Dave Price wrote this song. I think when I first met you, Tom, it's got to be about 1972-ish.
Around that time.
Around about that time. You're all supposed to gasp when I say that. Okay. This is it's a song called Friends of Mine. I used to do this thing where, sorry, when I'm tuning up my guns, I would say to the audience, higher or lower. And sometimes the audience would go with it, like big time. Higher, higher, who thinks higher? Higher, lower, 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 lower. You missed it all the time. One place I was going like, higher or lower, this fella said. Who cares? I think people think we can just say anything, don't they? This is the most interesting part of the act, especially when it's not halfway through a song. You should see some friends of mine, ask them round to share some time with you, and maybe they'll be friendly to you. Now, I used to sing this at a very frantic pace. Now I've calmed down, now that I'm much more mature. Excuse me. That was my sister, by the way. No, I've had an absolutely fabulous time. I've got to say, I haven't been away from like being able to perform to people. It seems very weird to have this many people all watching it at one time like that. Anyway, it's about 3 people who are very famous in the northeast of England. One of them's Coffee Johnny, who gets a very honourable mention in the Bladen races. He says, "We's the Cuddy." Very good. The second tune's Tommy on the Bridge, who used to beg on the swing bridge, and what he did was, it was illegal to busk in both Newcastle and Gateshead, so what he used to do was he used to rock from foot to foot like that. So he was neither in Newcastle nor Gateshead for long enough. And this might be a surprise to you, but I've written an extra verse to your song, and it's about Dolly Peel. Now, I'm sure a lot of us know about Dolly Peel, not just the pub. And the Dolly Peel was a lady who basically stopped young men being press-ganged into the Napoleonic Wars. Okay, and the way she did that was by hiding them underneath her skirts. Oh, now I've got your interest, Sam. I said, oh, yeah. So what happened was, well, they've got a life-size... they've got a life-size statue of her up on the top there, and she's about this high. So either they were very small men, or it was a very big, very big dress. So it goes, "You should see some friends of mine, ask them round to share some time with you. Maybe they'll be friendly to you." Give it a try, dead easy. Go. "You should see some friends of mine, ask them round to share some time with you. Maybe they'll be friendly to you." The tallest man I know is gentle Johnny O, and though his strength is clear, there's nothing there to fear. But every Friday night he drinks his pain away, then take care, watch and say, and don't get in his way. You should see some friends of mine, ask them round to share some time with you. Maybe they'll be friendly to you. There's Tom with his wasted eyes, he's one more friend of mine. And every day he lives, he begs upon the bridge. He says he breaks no laws, but he's above the times. We stand on the line, he stands there all the time. Try it. You should see some friends of mine, ask them round to share some time with you. Maybe they'll be friendly to you. Standing small beside the sea, hand on heart by old Shields Quay, recruiting gangs, they shout, they roar. Dolly hides her heart soul from the war. Beneath the skirts and in plain sight, she speaks so strong to ride by the dawn and light. should see some friends of mine, ask them now to share some time with you. Maybe they'll be friendly to you. Maybe they'll be friendly to you. Thank you so much. I hope you've had a good time. It's now time for tea, biscuits and chili. Hooray! Thank you so much. And thank you as well. Graham Bell.
Yeah.
Amazing. A true force of nature. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, 5 minutes over. Oh. So this song is called A Diamond's Trace, and it's all about Napoleon Bonaparte when he was sent to St. Helena, which I've only just found out didn't belong to the British government. It belonged to the East India Company. So they basically subletted the looking after of a jobbing megalomaniac, as I like to think of Napoleon. I knew nothing about what happened there, but in true British democratic style, they sent the person who'd conquered most of Europe to an island where there was nobody who spoke French and English, except for a 14-year-old girl who was called Betsy Balcom, who was quite a naughty girl, let's say, and he stayed with their family. He lived actually in their summer house because he preferred that to where he was going to be sent, a place called Lordswood. And when he was there, he showed a completely different side to him that we would imagine. He was like a wicked uncle, and he was forever like pinching the children's cheeks and noses and forming them into armies and getting them to fight each other. Once a megalomaniac, always a megalomaniac. Anyway, Betsy Balcom, she really took to him, and as she was leaving the island, he left her pieces of these dinner services which showed all of his successes, and she also got a lock of his hair, and she hung on to these into adulthood until she became sort of like very short of money, and she eventually sold them. Capricious and caring, teasing and daring, he waltzed my childhood away. The best and the worst, the love of the cursed, who cares what the gossips might say? No serpent with scales in the form of a man, just how human this monster could be. He wanted my company more than princesses, knew his mirth and his glee. He courted his own black tails as well as his charms, and I was his willing prisoner caught in his arms. The ashes of thousands of dreams on his brow, tears at his losses and loves. In the heat of the Atlantic's wild winds, he's praying and cursing his own Lord above. We knew nothing of Waterloo, his flight from Melba, pale and cold when he stepped on our shore. On a jet black horse, so proud, so magnificent, marching right up to our door. With an emperor's soul he sleeps, sound in our grove, and into our hearts an unknown stranger thrown. The one who and Moscow down to the ground now sets my feet afire. He leads my footfalls, my heart, my dancing in the freedom of bars and rise. Far from prying eyes, he'd stay with my family, smile and a look in his eye. He was no ogre, no beast, no demon, just a man who reached far and high. Always the wildest girl on all of this isle. It was worth it for a glance or a glimpse of his smile. With his affections, rages, distractions, Lot's wife and his daughters would dance. No king, no courtesan, Cossack would know him as he waltzed by the trees and the sand. He laughed in his tongue, what London would think, much more than a lifetime away. All licorice and sweetmeats, bonbons and creams, not a fig for what they would say. The scourge of grand generals throughout the world, for once had lost all care in the arms of a girl. With his eagle and brilliance, Betsy turned to Elizabeth, clasping the lock of his hair. As evening is dying, he rests in the arbour, and still his name causes fear. I see him at Lordswood, left to dance with no one, only rats, regrets and despair. He holds out a hand, awaiting a partner, whispers her name to the air. Mademoiselle Betsy, please come back to this place. He closes his eyes as it leaves a diamond's trace. There's someone at the door. There's someone at the door. Oh, is it Jed?
Yeah.
Hiya, Jed, how are you?
Yeah, not so bad about the first year.
Well, I was here. How are you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. How's yourself?
Good.